it was that glimpse of the sun above the war, above the strife and all of the fighting, above the dark clouds that empowered them to dive back into the fray. Well, all right, you're in the right place at the right time for laughter, wisdom, and a word so prime. Wake up, sit up, and don't you bleak. We got truths to drop and thoughts to think. This ain't just talk, it's fire worth keeping, a call worth catching even while sleeping. So lean in close, no need for creeping. Welcome, my friends, to Preaching While Sleeping. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me one more time. Today, you're going to be eavesdropping on another simulated call that might just help somebody out. And if you've ever thought, didn't I just say I wasn't going to do that again? Or maybe, how did I end up back here? Well, if any of those things are something that you are thinking about or have dealt with, today, this one is for you. Whether it's an old habit, a worn out pattern, or just feeling stuck on repeat, we're unpacking it all on today, as much as we can in a short period of time. Yeah, of course. And hey, if this episode lifts you up, makes you laugh, or hits home in the best way, send it to someone who could use that same encouragement. All right, let's go be nosy. Hello? Yeah. What's going on, man? Oh, nothing, man. You're getting a little reading done. What's up? Yeah. I might need to call you back. You feel like you're on a spiritual.
It's just, this is a cycle, you know.
Yeah. Okay. You've got my attention. What's up? Yeah. You know, sometimes I catch myself in the middle of doing something. Same attitude, same response, and same old routine. And I'll just stop and say out loud, like there's somebody listening to me.
Who are you talking to?
Now, why am I doing this to myself again?
You didn't learn the first time.
I mean, I know better, I think, right? I know, right?
What do you really know about it?
Yeah, I've read the books, prayed the prayers, made the resolutions, talked to Jesus, the therapist, K-Hawk, psychiatrist, the covenant group. I even talked to Batman.
I'm Batman.
And he never answers, but that's besides the point. Somehow, I find myself repeating the same thing I am trying to stop. Been there, I know. You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
You're not the only one that's going through stuff like that. You know, I don't know if this is a thing, but it's like a spiritual deja vu.
So just like deja vu.
And not in a good way. Like, didn't I just escape this? How did I get back here? I just said to myself, I was going to be better if this shows up again. Didn't I just promise myself I'd stop answering to that kind of stuff? Didn't I just write on my journal cards that I was no longer circling back to the same emotionally draining situations?
I will not do that again.
So yeah, I was no longer circling back to the same emotionally draining situation. So yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand what it means to be in a cycle. I've been in a cycle.
Been there, done that, didn't care for it.
And the most challenging part is when the cycle starts to feel normal.
This is not normal, right? I mean, this is normal.
Now let that sink in for a second. Yeah, I know. Because once dysfunction gets comfortable, it starts rearranging your living room, ordering delivery, receiving mail, and calling itself home.
Wendy, I'm home. Here's Johnny.
Dysfunction can get comfortable real quick. And here's what I've learned though. Circles can be sneaky. Circles can be sneaky. You ever been on one of those moving walkways at the airport and you're going forward technically, but the second you stop walking, you're not really getting anywhere, especially not fast. That's what cycles do. They give you just enough motion to feel like progress, but not enough transformation to call it growth.
That means we're going nowhere.
And here's the tough truth. Here's a really tough truth that sometimes I don't want to even admit to. Some of us aren't in a season, we're in a pattern. A pattern we've repeated so many times, we've stopped noticing it's leading us into new circles.
This place looks familiar.
The perfect example is that scene in the movie The Matrix when Neo and Trinity, they break through the clouds and they see the sun seemingly for the first time. They both have a moment. That moment isn't about escaping the problems that comes against them. When you're trying to escape a cycle, it's about pushing yourself high enough for a renewal of perspective. And see, when they got above the clouds, they had a chance to see something different. They got a chance to see that there was light out there, that there was something bigger out there, something beyond the problems that they were going through. And that gave them something to fight for. That gave them something to push on for. And sometimes it's not about escaping the fight. It's about rising high enough to remember that in your darkest days, light still exists.
I see light at the end of this tunnel.
That's right, my friend. Light still exists. It does. They didn't break free from the chaos.
And whatever the hell it is still here.
No, they just caught a glimpse of a brighter day. And it gave them the internal fortitude to continue forward toward their new trajectory.
This could be a chance to heal, maybe find a new direction.
It was that glimpse of the sun, It was that glimpse of the sun above the war, above the strife and all of the fighting, above the dark clouds that empowered them to dive back into the fray.
There's no turning back now, Sunflower.
Absent of fear and driven by a sense of clarity and purpose.
I can see clearly now the rain.
Yeah, I feel like preaching right now. Actually, I'm feeling quite bold too. Let's call it what it is, okay? Let's just call it what it is. This might sting a little too, to be honest. This might, just thinking about it, this might sting a little bit. You still, yeah. What we go through is not punishment. It's the emergence of clarity. See, we can't break a cycle if we are still romanticizing the cycle. We can't get free from a loop that we have begun calling what some people like to say is just our personality. That's just who I am. That's just how I do things. Really? Really? Is that really how you are? Is that really who you are? It's not. No, it's not. Is it just how you're surviving?
I'm just trying to survive, to be honest.
I mean, I understand. I don't agree, but I understand, because when we are in a survival mode, survival mode requires a short memory. It only knows how to protect you. Not to heal you, but to protect you. And sometimes in survival mode, you have to have a short memory.
I've already forgotten what happens just then.
What?
And at some point, we have to stop calling every exit that we pass a detour and just admit it, that maybe God's been showing us the exit stage left, but we keep choosing the much easier revolving door. Yeah, I understand. I'm on board. I got you, man. I understand what you're dealing with. I have to deal with it. I think it's just a part of the world that we live in. It's part of the life that we live, and we have to become okay with understanding it so that we can fix it. But you know, I've been thinking.
Every time you think you weaken the nation.
About something else too. Yeah, yep, exactly. Revolving doors. That's it, you know. But look, this is what I've been thinking about. This repeating of a cycle thing. I feel that once I get my mind wrapped around it and committed to long-term memory, I think that it could really change some things, you know?
You might be onto something.
Especially since sometimes it's the smallest things. A text, a memory, a moment of silence, a craving, a song, a longing maybe, an unfulfilled desire. And just like that, we're right back into it. And I mean, in cases like this, we need to have a shifting of our energy. And that's what I'm suggesting for you too, is just having a shifting of your energy. You know, I know that the cycles aren't going to stop. They're going to show up again, just in a different way. We have to find a way to shift our energy so that we can break that cycle. It's important to remind ourselves that the things that trigger us can be redirected to different responses.
Oh, let's redirect that nervous energy into something else so you can focus.
And let me just toss this out again, you know. I'm tossing a lot. I'm tossing. Here's one way to shift, okay? What if we just keep in mind that we are allowed to say, just because I've done this before doesn't mean I have to do it again. What if we just said that? What if we when we see ourselves faced with the decision to do something, that we say within ourselves, and maybe to that thing, just because I've done this before doesn't mean I have to do it again. And what's really funny, these are the things that I am saying, these are things we know. We know these things. I am not telling you something you don't know. You know, it just hits different when we're talking about it, you know? I mean, even as I'm talking, I'm reminding myself, you know? So I thank you for calling me, man, because it was strange that this conversation would come about, because it just so happened to be something that I was thinking about. And yes, right. And just being able to understand that there is ministry to yourself in the pause.
Could you just pause for a second?
Ooh-wee, there is ministry to yourself in the pause. If you pause and allow yourself to be rerouted, to pause and to pray, you have the freedom to be different than what you have become. And hey, Doc, this is real talk right now. We still have time to correct our past, as long as we can draw breath and reasonably manage our life. Yes, we can correct the corridors of our faith. Being doomed to repeat is for inanimate objects and things missing the elements of reason. Yeah, no, you know, when I'm doomed to repeat it. What? No. I don't have time for that. No. We are freed people from our past. That's why there was a death, a sacrifice for our lives. For instance, we know that if we have faith, we are one honest moment away from a new trajectory. Did you catch that? I mean, it's funny that you called. This is what I was thinking about. The trajectory may bring about new challenges, yes. At least though, at the very least, the new trajectory moves you forward. Even if it's just one steps. Man, are you getting what I'm laying down? Are you getting this? Yes. The power of just one step. The power of taking one step. Where in our lives do we feel stuck on repeat? I mean, that's something we got to ask ourselves. And let me tell my age real quick. I'm gonna tell my age real quick. Back in the day, if you had a vinyl, that's a record, okay, and if it had a scratch on it, it would repeat itself. Repeat itself. What we have excused in our lives are the things that will continue to cause us to repeat. What have we excused in our lives that we need to confront? Man, I'm glad you called. I done messed around and talked myself happy. We're in this together. You should never, ever try to deal with life by yourself, especially when you're talking about cycles. It's boldly choosing peace over chaos. Again. It's saying no to that which tries to run you over. It's showing up for your future self. It's showing up for your future self. Even when your past self keeps calling. They heard about that. I'm gonna tell them. Hello? Did that joker just hang up on me? If you have done circles in your life, like me, I'm telling you, you're not by yourself. Now is the time, right now, to decide within yourself to step out of the cycle. It's time to take a step, not a leap.
Niggers don't jump.
Don't jump if you can avoid it.
Let's not get crazy. No, it ain't time to take a leap. Not a sprint. No, we are not sprinting. Remember, you have not done this in a while, so you are spiritually out of shape.
I don't know about you, but I'm not in shape for this.
So just start with one small step, okay? Just one. I don't know who said this. Somebody said this, and they probably somebody important, that doubt is a pattern and faith is a decision. Ooh-wee, I don't know who said that. I don't know who said it. But if ain't nobody said it, then I want credit for it. If it's dismissing negative thoughts, that's one step. If it's taking a moment to reclaim your time, that's one step, man. Imagine that. If it's sitting down and talking to a professional, one step, one. Just one. Listen, I got to get off this phone. Yeah, because I feel like preaching now. I didn't mean to keep you so long, but before you go, let me just say this. When it is dark, you are the light. And where there is rain, you are the fire that ignites. And if you get lost along the way, just take the next step and watch night turn to day. All right. Yeah, man. You know how to do it, man. Just give me a ring anytime, okay? I'll let you later. All right. That's it, my nosy neighbors. If this episode made you smile, made you think, or helped you even a little less get stuck, Share it. Text it to a friend, post it on your story, or keep it close. Play it again when you need a gentle nudge. I'm Buddy Jerome, and I hope you'll eavesdrop again on Preaching While Sleepy, where we remind each other that we are bound for greater things. All right, so before you go, when it is dark, God is your light. When storms arise, God's fire always burns bright. And if you lose your way, hold tight, don't stray. God's leading your steps toward a more perfect way. All right, till next time, okie dokie.